All right, it's Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. We are down at the very end of chapter 2 of the book of Proverbs this morning. We have 3 verses left. We have learned this morning about the beginning where he said, "My son," and he gave us 8 commands in the first 4 verses. And then we went to the next 5 through 8, and we saw 8 blessings. If we follow those first 4 commands in the first 4 verses, the next 4 verses give us 8 different blessings. And then 9 through 11, if we will look at that, we have 8 more blessings. Then we can get 8 more blessings by following the Lord. That's 16 blessings out of 4 verses. Well, 4 fours are 16, so we're 3/4 of the way to coming to a righteous place. And then verse 12 through 15, he said, if we'll come to that righteous place, we will be delivered and from being wicked. And we will list the 7 sins of a wicked man. There are 7 sins that a wicked man will do. The evil man speaketh froward things, and the path of the unrighteous is the way of darkness. And the wicked man rejoiceth to do evil. He desireth and he follows the frowardness of the wickedness, and his ways are crooked, and they are froward in the path. And what God's saying is all of his ways are froward. They're going from God. They're going forward from God. They're going away instead of toward. Instead of toward God, they're going from God. And so we need to listen to what the Holy Spirit said. And then he said in this chapter 2, the verse 16 through 19, there is a way to be delivered from the harlotry of this world. Now, harlotry in the Bible is not just about the female sex. Harlotry in this world is about the things that we do. For instance, Brother Peter here, you're looking at right now, got saved in 1972. God delivered me from lying, cheating, stealing, drinking alcohol, cussing, raveling, doing all those things. I also smoked. Well, you started going to church, you got baptized, you started following the Lord, but Brother Peter, you continued to smoke. Why did you do that? The reason I did that is I thought I could get away with holding one room for myself. So I kept the key to the room smoking. Now, what happened to me is God would say, do this. And that little white thing would say, do this. And it became a battle in my life. Do I do what God said? Oh, I do what this little white thing said. And that little white thing said, light me up. You need my nicotine in your body. And do you know I was a 3, 4, 5 pack a day man, and I thought I did too need that. And I came into this battle between righteousness and unrighteousness, and the Lord showed me that for me, as I'm becoming a new creature in the Lord, behold, all things, old things had passed away, and all things had become new. What do you mean, Brother Peter? I mean that I was to put away all those things that I did. People think that I'm curious right now that I will not touch a deck of cards, and I won't. And I will not listen to public radio, and I won't. And I will not try my best to not watch tainted things on the TV screen, and I try my best not to. And this is a tough age to live in. If you turn your TV on, it'll swear at you. in your own living room. You wouldn't let a man come in your living room, take the Lord's name in vain, but you can turn your TV on and they will. You wouldn't let a naked woman come in your house, but you can turn your TV on and bam, there's one in your living room. So you need to start thinking about, if you're a new creature, acting like one. So anyway, God began to deal with me on this cigarette issue. And I've gave this testimony many times, but I was preaching at the jailhouse, and a man, I stood there and smoked a cigarette while I was preaching, and when I got done preaching, and he was going to preach, I stepped out of the way where I was out of sight, and I stopped for a second. I wanted to hear what he had to say, and he started preaching. Those guys in the jail told him, "Get out of here, mister. You smoked a cigarette while a preacher preached, and now you're going to tell us that you can't tell us nothing." And the Lord said to me, that's what the world thinks of a man that says that he got saved, says he got born again, said that he's cleaned up, said that God delivered him, and he's walking around doing the same thing that the world is doing. That is a hypocritical item in your life. If you do that, you need to allow God to deal with you on that, and don't get hardy and high-minded and all upset every time somebody says something. And you might go and say, all my preacher does is preach against smoking. He probably ain't said a thing about it in 10 years. You just so convicted that everything you hear is about that. And that's the way it is when you're convicted. When you're convicted about something, everything somebody says gnaws at you. I have some people that I have a very hard time right now speaking about anything to. They're overconscious about every single thing you say. And they say, Brother Peter, you're always preaching at me. I'm not preaching to you, brother. I'm just stating a fact. And you're taking it wrongly. You're taking this, I'm preaching at you. I'm not trying to separate you from the world. God's trying to separate you from the world. And when I say something, it doesn't have anything to do with what you come back with. You come back with, well, you're always telling me this. I didn't say anything to you about the Holy Spirit's the one who spoke to you. I didn't say anything about it. Now, by the way, many people, the preachers stand at the back door and they say, I thank you, preacher, for saying that this morning about that. He didn't say anything about what they were thinking about. It's that the Holy Spirit brought to them face value, that they had something in their life they need to deal with. It may be your tongue. It may be that you speak out of turn. It may be that you still do smoke. It may be that you still have a problem with lying or cheating or stealing or doing things. And you have really asked the Lord to save you, but you hadn't been able to bring that body unto captivity. Work on bringing your body unto captivity. Let's read these last 3 verses. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of righteousness. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressor shall be rooted out. Verse 21 is deep. Verse 21 is a deep verse. I got 3 more seconds right here and I'll get with you. Verse 21 is a deep verse, and it has the meaning of the total thing. It's the summation of the whole thing right here, is that you can walk upright and dwell in the land perfect. And God said you are going to inherit the land around you one day for eternity if you're walking with God in this perfection. Because He is an eternal God and you're going to live with Him eternally. Well, this is Brother Peter saying goodbye for the time. Our time is come and gone. And we must sign off and say, have a good day and God bless you. Thank you for being on. and watching this little excerpt today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.